Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Paul Heyman will be in CM Punk's corner when the best in the world faces Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41 on April 19. In a recent podcast episode, the WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff addressed where the former ECW owner's allegiances could lie after the event. Heyman has performed as Reigns' on-screen special counsel since 2020. However, the 59-year-old will represent Punk in Las Vegas as part of an agreement that the two struck in 2024. It has also been speculated that Paul could side with Rollins, betraying the Second City Saint and the OTC in the process. On his 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff praised the storyline and agreed with host Conrad Thompson that Heyman aligning with Rollins could be interesting. On the April 7 episode of Raw, Seth Rollins almost hit Paul Heyman with a stomp before backing out at the last second. Moments later, the former WWE champion grabbed the microphone and said Heyman now owes him a favor. CM Punk previously worked alongside Paul Heyman on WWE television in 2012 and 2013. The real-life friends also had a good relationship when they crossed paths in WWE's Ohio Valley Wrestling (OVW) developmental system in 2005. With a week to go until WrestleMania 41, Eric Bischoff would not be surprised to see Heyman leave the show with Punk. Bischoff also explained why WWE's higher-ups should not punish Tiffany Stratton following her off-script remarks to Charlotte Flair. The WWE Universe is no stranger to shocking betrayals and jaw-dropping alliances, but what happened on the April 7th edition of WWE Raw could go down as one of the most masterfully orchestrated betrayals in professional wrestling history. Paul Heyman, the mastermind known for his decades of manipulation and loyalty to his clients, has once again shocked the world. And Eric Bischoff, a man who knows a thing or two about controversy and calculated strategy, believes this was not just brilliant, it makes a lot of sense for the future of WWE. A shocking night in St. Louis. It started like any other post-WrestleMania Raw. The crowd in St. Louis was buzzing with the fallout from WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns had retained his undisputed WWE Universal Championship after a brutal war with Cody Rhodes in the main event, and many expected the next chapter in his seemingly unending saga of dominance. What nobody expected, however, was that the end of the line would come not at the hands of an opponent, but at the hands of his most trusted confidant, Paul Heyman. The main event of the evening was billed as a celebration. The Bloodline, minus an increasingly distant Solo Sikoa, were set to bask in the glory of another WrestleMania triumph. Heyman, with his trademark microphone and devilish smirk, began to extol Roman's greatness in typical fashion. Until he didn't. Heyman's speech took an abrupt turn. "This isn't a celebration, this is an intervention." The words rang through the arena like a gunshot. Roman's expression changed immediately from amused to confused to betrayed. The crowd didn't know whether to boo, cheer, or remain in stunned silence. Heyman continued, "You see, Tribal Chief, you were the moment. You were the attraction. But now you've become the problem. And in WWE, problems are meant to be replaced." Before Roman could react, the lights cut out. When it came back on, standing in the ring behind Roman were Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, and Heyman smiled. A new dangerous alliance. Breaker and Hayes attacked. Roman fought back valiantly, but the youth, speed, and viciousness of the two NXT standouts were too much, even for the Tribal Chief. A final spear from Breaker, followed by a springboard leg drop from Hayes, laid Reigns out cold. Heyman kneeled beside Roman, gently placing the microphone next to his fallen body. He looked into the camera and simply said, "A new era, a new bloodline. We are the Dangerous Alliance, and we run the show now." Eric Bischoff. It makes a lot of sense. In the hours that followed, speculation ran rampant. Was this a one-time betrayal? A new stable? A full-blown changing of the guard? Wrestling Insider Weekly reached out to none other than Eric Bischoff, former WCW president, WWE general manager, and one of the most notorious minds in wrestling history, to get his take on Heyman's stunning move. "I've known Paul for a long time," Bischoff began. "We've fought, we've disagreed, but I respect his mind. And let me tell you something, this makes a lot of sense." According to Bischoff, WWE is at a tipping point when it comes to evolving its main event scene. You've got all this young talent, Bron Breakker, who is genetically engineered to be a top guy. Carmelo Hayes, with more charisma than most rosters combined. And what do they need? A mouthpiece, a strategist, a war general. That's Paul Heyman. Bischoff even drew parallels to his own time running WCW. Back then, we had to shake things up. That's how the NWO happened. This is the same thing. It's not just turning on Roman, it's turning the entire landscape of WWE upside down. The Dangerous Alliance 2.0. To longtime fans, the name Dangerous Alliance rings familiar. It was a stable led by Heyman, then Paul E. Dangerously, in the early 90s featuring the likes of Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, and Steve Austin. Now the name lives again. Heyman, in a promo released on WWE.com, explained the revival. "This isn't nostalgia. This isn't a reboot. This is an evolution. The new Dangerous Alliance isn't just here to dominate titles. We're here to burn down the old order and build something new in its ashes." In the days that followed, the new Dangerous Alliance took over both Raw and SmackDown. They interrupted matches, cut scathing promos on management, and left legends and newcomers alike laying in their wake. The fall of the Bloodline. Backstage, the Bloodline appeared in disarray. Solo Sikoa, who hadn't even come to the ring during the betrayal, was shown in cryptic vignettes, watching silently. Jimmy and G. Uso, nowhere to be found. Reigns, meanwhile, vanished from television. Until Backlash. Backlash, the confrontation. The main event of Backlash. Montreal was supposed to be a coronation for Bron Breakker, who challenged Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. He won, but not cleanly. Paul Heyman distracted the referee, and Hayes nailed Rollins with a low blow. Breakker hit the Gorilla Press Power Slam, and history was made. As confetti fell and the Dangerous Alliance celebrated, Roman Reigns' music hit. The building exploded. Reigns, suited in black and wearing no Bloodline gear, walked slowly to the ring. Heyman looked terrified, until Breakker and Hayes stood beside him, arms folded. Roman didn't speak. He stared at Heyman, then at the title on Breakker's shoulder. And then he did something unthinkable. He smiled. He nodded once and walked away. The message was clear. Reigns was not done. He was just getting started. A war for the soul of WWE. Over the next several weeks, the WWE Universe witnessed an all-out war. Reigns began forming alliances of his own, seeking out men with something to prove. He found unlikely partners in LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and even Randy Orton. Orton, in a backstage segment, put it simply, "This isn't about titles anymore. It's about reminding people who the hell built this place." What followed was a series of brutal tag matches, sneak attacks, and confrontations that blurred the line between reality and storyline. Fans weren't just watching wrestling anymore. They were watching a turf war. SummerSlam, the blood feud. The eventual collision course led to SummerSlam 2025, the Dangerous Alliance versus Reigns Resistance, in a 4-on-4 elimination match with everything on the line. Heyman's team, Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory. Reigns' team, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and a surprise return, Cody Rhodes, who had been out since WrestleMania. The match was a classic. Bodies flew, alliances shifted, and in the end, it came down to Reigns and Breakker. They stood face to face as the crowd chanted, "This is awesome," and exchanged brutal shots before Reigns speared Breakker and pinned him clean. Heyman's face said it all. The plan had failed, for now. Eric Bischoff's final take. After SummerSlam, Bischoff commented again in an exclusive podcast episode. "You want long-term storytelling. You want money. That's what Heyman's doing. Whether he wins or loses short-term doesn't matter. He's setting up the next 5 years of WWE. Bischoff praised WWE's bravery in moving away from safe storytelling. Too often, people stick with what's working until it's dead. Reigns has been dominant for 3 years. But what's next? This was the answer. And what about Heyman? He's the one guy who can pull this off. No one else in wrestling has the brains, the balls, or the credibility. Heyman's betrayal was necessary. And honestly, it was inevitable. Where does WWE go from here? As of now, the Dangerous Alliance remains active. Breakker is champion. Hayes has his eyes on the Intercontinental title. And Heyman continues to speak of a bigger plan still unfolding. Roman Reigns, meanwhile, is no longer the tribal chief. He is the leader of a rebellion. And the WWE Universe is watching, breathless, waiting for what happens next. One thing's for sure. When Paul Heyman stabs you in the back, he doesn't miss the heart. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.